The current spoilers for The Young and the Restless make it clear that Sharon and Nick Newman were on the verge of finding their way back to each other before Noah's accident shifted everything. For longtime fans, a chic reunion. The idea of Sharon and Nick finally reuniting after years of heartbreak, separation, and lingering love has always been a deeply emotional hope. They've been through so much together. Losing Cassie, raising Faith, navigating Sharon's struggles with mental health, and surviving infidelities and betrayals. They've come back from nearly everything. But just when it looked like they might get a fresh chance at love and healing, Noah's mysterious car crash introduced a new player, Sienna, whose connection to the tragedy threatens to unravel everything. Sienna's entry into the Newman family orbit feels anything but coincidental. Spoilers reveal that Nick first comes across Sienna through Noah's phone, when he answers a call that leads to more questions than answers. Sienna was apparently one of the last people to see Noah before the crash. Yet her behavior after the accident makes both Nick and Sharon suspicious. When Nick called to ask about her connection to his son, Sienna claimed Noah was merely a friend, and then abruptly hung up. That single moment, strange and evasive as it was, sets up the next phase of tension. It ensures that Nick's curiosity about Sienna will only deepen, particularly because of his natural instinct to protect his family and uncover the truth. But what makes the situation complicated is that Nick's curiosity could easily turn into attraction once he meets her in person. Spoilers for the upcoming week confirm that Nick and Sienna will have their first face-to-face encounter, and it's not expected to be smooth. Their initial meeting is likely filled with suspicion and confrontation. Nick, being the responsible and sometimes hot-headed father, will push Sienna for answers. He'll demand to know what she was doing with Noah before the crash, why she lied, and what she's hiding. But soaps have a long history of using conflict as the spark for chemistry. Whenever two characters begin their dynamic with friction and mistrust, it's often a sign that there's something more brewing underneath, tension that may shift from anger to attraction. Nick has always been drawn to complex, emotionally wounded women, those who carry secrets, who project confidence but hide pain beneath the surface. Sienna fits that mold perfectly. She's the kind of woman who will test Nick's loyalty and emotional resolve. If Sienna has secrets tied to Noah's accident or if she's involved with someone dangerous, like her rumored boyfriend Mitch, Nick will see her as someone who needs rescuing. He's done it countless times before, from Phyllis to Chelsea to Sage, and it usually leads to trouble. His compassion and protective instincts often blur into emotional entanglement. So while his intentions may start out noble, his growing involvement with Sienna could easily evolve into something deeper, whether he realizes it or not. For Sharon, this development is nothing short of devastating. Just when she's finally starting to feel close to Nick again, supporting each other through their son's accident, reconnecting as parents, and rediscovering the trust that once defined their relationship, she could find herself losing him to yet another woman who appears out of nowhere. Sharon has been trying to rebuild her sense of stability and emotional safety, and her bond with Nick seemed like the final piece in that puzzle. But Sienna represents a new, unpredictable threat. Sharon will likely see Sienna as dishonest, manipulative, and dangerous, and she won't hesitate to confront her. However, Sienna's presence will also expose Sharon's deepest insecurities, her fear that she will never be enough for Nick, that every time she lets her guard down, someone else will swoop in and take him away. At the same time, the show is clearly positioning Sharon for her own potential romantic turn. With Roger Howarth's debut approaching and mystery surrounding his character, there's speculation that Sharon may not stay single for long. If Howarth's role turns out to be a recast of Tucker McCall, that could open the door to a revival of their past spark. Sharon and Tucker once shared chemistry, and if he re-enters Genoa City at a time when Sharon feels emotionally vulnerable, it could easily lead to a reconnection, or at least some emotional confusion. Another possibility involves Detective Burrows, who's been hovering around the Noah storyline but whose background feels suspicious. Sharon's natural curiosity could lead her to spend more time with him, setting the stage for unexpected emotional tension or even danger. Still, no matter who crosses Sharon's path romantically, her connection to Nick is one of those rare soap bonds that never fully dies. Their shared history, children, and emotional foundation make them one of The Young and the Restless' most enduring pairings. But that's exactly why Sienna's arrival feels so threatening. She's walking straight into one of the most beloved love stories on daytime television and could easily become the spoiler that derails it again. Whether Sienna's involvement with Noah's crash is innocent or not, her connection to Nick is going to complicate things. Once they meet, their chemistry, whether romantic or adversarial, will become the new focal point of the storyline. Sharon will be forced to watch Nick interact with a woman she doesn't trust, and that will trigger protective instincts and jealousy. Sienna may even manipulate that tension to her advantage, subtly playing Nick and Sharon against each other. In essence, yes, Sienna absolutely could throw a wrench in the chick reunion. Her mysterious connection to Noah, her evasive behavior, and her inevitable chemistry with Nick are all elements designed to stir the pot. Sharon and Nick might have been on the path to reconciling, but the introduction of Sienna adds a dangerous new variable to their story. What started as a family tragedy investigation could quickly turn into a romantic entanglement that reignites old wounds, tests loyalties, and forces Sharon and Nick to question whether they can ever truly find peace together.